Good morning, everyone. Welcome to daily meditation. Welcome to another week together. Lovely to see you all here, streaming in with many different weather conditions, it sounds like. I'm joined here by Sophie Boyer. Sophie, can you turn on your video? There she is. Okay. So Sophie has a very interesting biography. She started out working as a nurse in palliative care, and she spent about 12 years in hospices surrounded by the themes of aging, sickness, and death. During this time, she started meditating and then decided to explore it very intensively and went on various long silent retreats in Europe and the US before turning to actually become a nun in Burma for 2 years. And then she returned to Europe, and right now she's living on the French border close to Geneva, where she's teaching meditation classes in an oncology ward in a hospital. So very warm welcome to Sophie, and lovely to have you back with us. The theme for this week is movement in stillness. So daily meditation, I think you all know how this rolls, but if you are here for the first time, we have 15 minutes of a little Dharma talk, and then 20-25 minutes guided meditation. And then we have a 15 minutes for questions and answers at the end. So questions and answers, you are very welcome to ask a question to Sophie, or just to share whatever's coming up for you. Perhaps you have an insight that you'd like to share, or just a reflection. And to do that, there are two ways. First way is to come on screen, which is always wonderful to see people's faces. So feel very invited to do that. And to do that, you've got a little raise hand icon at the bottom of your screen. Click on that, and then I will bring you on screen. If you would prefer to ask your question in the chat, that's also totally fine. And you can just type the word question in caps at the beginning of your question in the chat. And that way we can differentiate it from the rest of the chats. All right. And a reminder as well that these sessions are all run on Dana. That's the only way that Sangha Live receives income at the moment, as well as this is a means of supporting our teachers who come. So this week, if you would like to offer Dana, that would be shared between Sangha Live and Sophie. And we're very grateful for your support, especially during this time. You've heard that Sangha Live's been having quite some financial difficulties. So it's just wonderful to feel that, we can, even though things are challenging, we can still keep going. We know that we've got the support of the community, and we can still keep collaborating with all these amazing different teachers from all around the world. It's a real blessing, especially during this time. So thank you so much for your support. It's to give, as you know, it's sangha.live/donate. And I will place the link in the chat. Okay, so thank you, everyone. I look forward to sitting with you this morning and this whole week, being together. And thank you, Sophie.
Good morning. A warm greetings to every one of you. It's so sweet to really see or read some familiar names, some familiar faces. Really warms the heart. Before we're getting started, I just would like to make sure that everyone is sitting comfortably, or maybe lying down. Quite important to find a comfortable place that can support a sense of relaxation and at the same time a sense of alertness, whether we're meditating, whether we're listening. So please really take the time to check How does it feel, to be sitting or lying down or standing up right now, from wherever you are, and in some way taking the inner weather. How does it feel right here, right now, to be sitting in front of a computer? Physically, mood, mind state. So throughout this week, we're going to explore a bit of the landscape and the domain of change, or commonly named as impermanence. And impermanence as a cycle of life that really includes everything. What I mean by including everything, I mean birth and death, creation or destruction, or growth and decay. Really, all this kind of dualistic range, we may say. And in other words, really this natural flow of things that are emerging, that are evolving, and then finally that are expiring. And really all this come together as a constant, never-ending flow. And from a contemplative perspective, when it comes to meat, this unstable reality, very often what happens is that stress, discomfort, or tension, they really come into play. And maybe the question, why is that? Why, when it comes to meet this uncertainty, this changing nature of everything, this kind of discomfort or destabilization that comes, why is that? And there might be a few range of answers to that, but I wish to explore maybe one or two of them during this week with you. And maybe the first one is just that, we're very much aware of change outside ourselves. It's very obvious when we look around us, the world we are living in. But this is maybe something we are really not so much very familiar with when it comes to within. We don't really realize, we don't really know and understand how this changing nature of things is really coming into play within. And so we may say that we not so well understand it. Maybe another reason, it's really because, at the core of this flowing and changing nature of all things, come or maybe arise, the questions of who we are in the midst of this. What are we? And when we get a sense, when we come to meet that reality of what am I? Who am I in the midst of things that are constantly changing? Maybe it starts, we can feel that may lead to, to start to shake our certitudes, our assumption, all this belief system we have, this kind of constructed ideas, constructed identity about everyone, about ourselves, and mostly about everything, let's be honest. So this week will really be dedicated to explore in very various and very practical ways the challenges, that might be met along that journey of meeting change, whether through meditation, formal meditation practice, as we have this opportunity to sit together, or whether when I'm going to offer a few reflection and maybe in return you may share yours as well. And and also really get interested in what the various Buddhist tradition provide to really learn to navigate skillfully in that very shaky and moving landscape, and how at the heart of this dynamic freedom can really emerge. A freedom that is really based upon a deeper understanding of this natural flow of change that governs the world, the universe we are in. And to head toward that direction, the first question to pose is whether it is possible to observe what is experienced without thinking about it. And Rod Nesmith, that is an American Buddhist teacher, put it that way. He says, and to somehow to park ourselves in a neutral location where we can silently observe with the impartiality that is needed. In other words, a place of stillness in the midst of movement. And before we put this into practice, I would like to share the words of a dear Korean Zen master. Maybe some of you are familiar with him. His name is Kusam Sunim. And that's what he says in his book. I think it's The Way of the Koreans, and I will post the quote for you so you can have it, because in some way this quote I'm going to read is really something that I invite you to really come back to all along this week. It's just a metaphor, and just along every day to see maybe how there can be a deepening of the understanding of what is meant in that very simple metaphor. And that's what Kusam Sunim says. He says, at the crossroad is a stone lion. In Korea, for those who may not know, still there is a lion statue at the entrance or exit, depends on what side we are, of cities, still nowadays. So that's what he says. At the crossroad is a stone lion. Without saying a word, he informs those who pass by of the way. He welcomes the people who come and bids farewell those who are leaving. In complete silence, he's delivering an endless Dharma discourse. So I put this on the chat so you can really read it again. Yeah. Okay. I read it one more time. At the crossroad is a stone lion. Without saying a word, he informs those who pass by of the way. He welcomes the people who come and bids farewell those who are leaving. In complete silence, he's delivering an endless Dharma discourse. So a few questions about that, maybe bring something, some food for thoughts. What may for us symbolize, this enigmatic stone lion? Stone lion. What is he referring to? Maybe I'll put these questions also in the chat for you. What is the meaning of this this ongoing flux of people, entering, coming in into the city and coming out. And how in some way this story could apply to our practice, to what we discover in contemplation, and also what it may mean in our everyday life. I'll put these questions in the chat for you. Here we are. And maybe in a way, this metaphor is already giving us a sense of what could be, a stable ground, a space, a time also of refuge in the midst of change. What I've called movement in stillness. And this is from where we're going to start today. Really, we're going to enter now our practice, simply in noticing that the simple activity of the body breathing. And let's see if during this simple practice, the words of Kusam Sunim may come alive for us. So maybe just take a time to stretch before we enter a formal practice, or have a little sip of your tea or coffee. And just finding, inviting awareness of the body, being here. Allowing awareness to land in the domain of this present moment. The body in contact with the chair, or maybe a cushion, or the ground, the floor, the sofa, a mattress if you're lying down or standing. We may all are from different parts of the world, in different geographical location, but really the space where we all meet and where we all come together is this present moment. This moment. And just settling in the body, sitting, standing or lying down. The feet in contact with the ground, with the earth. meeting this day, meeting the beginning of the week with freshness. Knowing this moment is really very unique. Never happened before, never happen again. Just opening to the sensation of the body sitting, standing, or lying down. And as noticing maybe more subtly the multitude of physical body sensation, the sense of breathing might become more obvious. Maybe with this gentle, soft inflating and deflating of the abdomen or the chest. Or maybe at the nostril, the air coming in and out at its own pace. Gentle, very gentle attention placed on the breath, the body breathing. Not requiring any intervention from us. Whether we are aware or not, the body is breathing. And then coming back to this natural flow. Each time thoughts or emotions have attracted our attention somewhere else. Just this gentle movement of coming back to breathing in, breathing out. And this gentle awareness placed on the breath, this gentle movement of returning to this present moment. At his own pace, creating a sense of spaciousness within. No forcing. Things happening as a result of following the breath. Just this. And sometimes the tendency might be recognized of there is something that is doing the breath. I am trying to control the breath. I am breathing. And if this applies to you, just notice maybe the physical tightness that may come along with it. When suddenly you find yourself doing the breath. I am breathing in, I am breathing out. You just really notice the difference. When there is an allowance of the breath, or when I am doing the breath. Not trying to change anything. Just, a clearer way of perceiving what's happening. And maybe as a sense of a spaciousness and groundedness is deepening. Paying attention to the very changing nature of this movement of breathing, the changing nature of an in-breath, a pause, the changing nature of an out-breath. In-breath arising with an inflation of the belly, the chest, or the air coming in a bit fresh in the nostril. Moment of pause, followed by an out-breath with the deflation of the abdomen. The air may be coming out of the nostril at a warmer, just to see if it is possible to follow the changing nature of breathing. Not adding anything to that, just the breath happening. Breathing in, breathing out. Just this. Just this. Breathing in, breathing out. movement of breathing in stillness. And at your own pace, slowly opening the eyes. Check if there is a need to stretch the body. Need of a few movements, standing up, taking a sip of tea. And just noticing maybe the quality at which the body is inhabited after this half an hour sitting. Is the quality has slightly changed. there a deeper sense of the body, of the awareness being here or not? You're just noticing what's here now. Anyway, the changing nature of what can be felt. And as Faith explained at the beginning of the session, you feel free to express things, whether it's in the chat or whether you really want to show up on the camera, asking questions or just offering what has been experienced for you, making a comment. Really, feel free. And not to be shy if there is this, this need, maybe this desire to share something, but not daring, because of being afraid of being judged. Something that really can be recognized as well. Limitation we have sometimes because of what we think, or of what may happen or not, or what people may think about us. There's never any stupid questions or stupid comment, and not really to underestimate the power of what anyone can say can resonate and land in others. Because as human beings, we're all sharing the same ground, the same aspiration for happiness, and maybe deeper understanding of how does it feel to be human. You're welcome, John. For those who are coming from a Monday morning, it's such a sweet and a nice way to start the day, with community and practice. It's so meaningful. Maybe questions may come later during the week when we really get in touch with what sometimes make us stuck, practice when coming to face change. This morning is more a gentle entering into this landscape, into this scenery. Really create and have a sense of what are the skillful disposition to meet with change. Okay, if if there is no question this morning, if there is no comment, what about using the time that remains just to pick up what could be appropriate for us to start the day? We're sorry for your loss, Louise, but thank you for sharing. Yeah, Doro, that's really a very powerful image that I really invite you all to really keep during the full week. We will come back to it very, very often. Question, Britta. Oh, no question really. I so often feel not quite at home and get a feeling that I should be more at home. Any comment? Thank you for that questions. Maybe the interesting things here is to pay attention from where this question is coming from. Yeah. Where is this question coming from? Is it a thought? I am thinking I am not at home. Just sitting, feeling, following the breath. In doing this, is there any need to feel at home? Just, maybe paying attention to if I don't feel at home, is there any desire underlying that questions, The desire to be somewhere else, to find something, to get something of the moment, to get something of my practice. Really maybe paying attention to that. Is there a desire, is there wanting behind that? Instead of just meeting, breathing in, breathing out. Or just meeting simply this sense of how does it feel, to not feel at home? How does it manifest? Not in terms of thinking, but in terms of how does it feel not at home? I don't know if it brings something here to this question, Britta. Okay, I'm reading. Oh, Anthea, you have a stone lion at the crossroad in Reading Park. Oh, Sally's memorial to colonial battle. Now, but even what it symbolizes could also be a reminder. It's a nice image, Patricia, of the river flowing on its way, a rose at home on its journey as it was. Thank you for that comment. It's really interesting. This is maybe one of the difficulty and the hindrance we may meet along, is that when we practice, we want to gain something out of this practice. And really to notice that when we want to get something out of the practice, this is precisely this that hinders us to meet with the changing, the flowing nature of things. Louis, I hope I pronounce well. Question: just being with the breath without doing it can bring such a feeling of trust for me. And then today it occurred to me I seem to bring also suggestions of permanence in that. And some sadness with the idea that I should let go of that too. How do I see it with this? I'm trying to getting very clear on what you're trying to express, Louis. It occurred to me that I seem to bring also suggestion. What does it mean by suggestions of permanence in that? Does it mean the discovery of a seeking for permanence, that a kind of wanting to keep the pleasant feeling that maybe accompanies the just being with the breath? And if it is that, just really to recognize that this is what is happening. There's not much else, anything else to do. Just to recognize, that maybe there is a desire for something not to change. And this is very common, again, in meeting change. We are so conditioned, to not allow these things. We're so conditioned to try to stay and to with a pleasant feeling. Also, so familiar with this reaction of not wanting something, and to see that every time we do that, we are not with the flow anymore, and to really realize and notice that this how it does bring tension. Physical tension, also kind of sense of narrowness in the mind as well. Oh, sorry, Britta, that you lost the sound. I hope it was not coming from my side. Louis, I don't know if I catch the essence of what you were trying to say. It is sometimes, this has to be known, I'm not an English speaker, and sometimes I may have some difficulties also to really catch the subtle things. So please forgive me, and do not hesitate to elaborate if you think it's needed. I really wish to support you along the week and share as best as it is possible. You mentioned also that this sense of permanence has led to get in touch with sadness, Louis. And sadness is like anything others, conditioned by certain things. Something that arises, and something certainly will pass away. Is there any way? Is there enough stability within? Just to accompany that, to open to that. Oh, sadness feels like this. And if it's too demanding, if it's too difficult, if there is a sense that we lose balance, in wanting to be with difficult state, difficult emotion, just ask oneself, okay, what is needed here to bring things back to balance? And sometimes it has nothing to do, with being with the thing. So sometimes we, especially when we're very familiar with meditation, we tend to try to fix everything with meditation. But instead, also sometimes to really question oneself, what is needed now? And sometimes it's just to orient the attention on something else. Whether it's a neutral point on the body, whether it's to do something else, and here it's really to everyone to be creative, to really find for oneself what's suitable, what helps, what support, to bring myself into balance. What I mean by balance is being stable within, feeling refreshed, and feeding this curiosity of wanting to know what's happening, but with kindness. Okay, it is 9 o'clock. I try to point out a sort of stable base that is underneath the trust, but the stable base itself might also be impermanent. Yes, the stable base is also impermanent. Maybe, I don't know, I will see with Song Alive if I can keep that comment, that it can be recorded, and maybe I'll come back to it tomorrow, because I guess some people needs to leave now. So thank you very much for coming, practicing together this morning. I wish you all a very nice day. Thank you, Faith. And with great pleasure to meet you tomorrow again. Please be well and safe. Bye.